How's it going, everyone? We've got quite a few updates to go over on a plethora of games. Digimon Story Time Stranger, a game that I am very excited for, has gotten its latest trailer showcasing one of the cooler mechanics of the game that isn't going to be completely consequential to the mechanics of the game, but definitely something cool that is implemented into the game. We'll talk about that. Bit of an update on Capcom sales numbers, and one game has seen an exponential rise in sales, and it's a game that's been out for 6 years. However, a little anime came out and it seems to have gotten a boost off of that, and sales updates on another title and updates on Remedy Games, a very talented studio. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But right off the bat, Digimon Story Time Stranger has gotten a brand new trailer. Who will you Digi-ride with? Yes, showcasing all of the mountable Digimons, and gotta say, while this isn't going to be absolutely consequential to the mechanics of the game, definitely a cool thing to see with all of the different Digimon that you can ride, and I think that's just one of those cool aspects that fans and newcomers will absolutely appreciate as far as making you more attached to your Digimon, because, you know, riding around a Digimon throughout the entire course of the game will definitely make you more attached to it, and I think that's something you want to do with a Mon collecting series, in the sense that you want the Digimon to feel like companions more so than just creatures you battle with, and I think having mountable Digimons adds another layer to that. I'm not saying it's going to be absolutely consequential, but a layer that people will appreciate, and something that I think will absolutely be on social media platforms. Like, this is the kind of stuff that people will make their Instagram shorts about and their TikTok reel. I'm old and washed up, so my apologies if I use the incorrect terminology, but the Instagram reels, the TikTok, the TikTokers and whatnot, the YouTube shorts, etc., etc., like, that's very eye-catching in that audience sector. And again, we talked about Digimon Story Time Stranger being this game that you do want it to draw a newer audience to these games, and I do think something that on the surface is relatively inconsequential helps out quite a lot with that. I will also say this is a $70 game, but I will reiterate that our friends at Green Man Gaming, if you do want to pick up a PC copy of the game, do have a 10% off on all of the editions, the Standard Edition, the Deluxe Edition, and the Ultimate Edition. You'll get a Steam key. You won't pay tax either, so you're saving even a little bit more. Link to that in the description box below. But we are quickly approaching the release of the game. What are we? About 7 weeks out from the release, and it is coming out the same day as Ghost of Yotei and a lot of other big games. You know, Pokemon's gonna be out on Nintendo Switch and Switch 2. You've got a lot of big games coming out at the end of September. While that does worry me a little bit, I think the hardcore Digimon fans are gonna check it out, and this is one of those games that, if it's worthwhile, I think people will pick it up over time. So let's hope that's the case, because I really want this game to do as well as possible, because it's been how many years since the last Digimon Story title? Like 8 years? We need Digimon Story to be a more consistent fixture across all of gaming, and Digimon games to be a more consistent fixture. I don't think we're gonna get a Digimon Survive sequel. I know some people really want that. However, as far as Digimon Story titles, I think that could be a little bit more consistent in gaming as well. Alright, moving on from that, Capcom Platinum title sales update as of June the 30th. I mainly want to talk about Devil May Cry 5 now selling a total of 10.5 million copies, 1.4 million additional units since March 31st of 2025. That is an insane number, given that Devil May Cry has been out for, Devil May Cry 5 that is, has been out for 6 years, and a game like that, the bulk of the copies will be sold within the first year. Well, let's go ahead and pull up when this Netflix series came out. And I know not everybody was crazy about the Netflix series, but oh, would you look at that? The Netflix release happened on April 3rd, 2025. So, again, I know the hardcore Devil May Cry fans were not a fan of this Netflix series whatsoever. I will say this, I had a lot of friends that aren't super into gaming. You know, they'll play video games here and there, but they didn't have an attachment towards Devil May Cry. They obviously knew it existed as an IP, but they checked out this anime, and I got multiple messages of people telling me how much they liked it, how much they loved the anime. you know, so sometimes the internet discourse and what you see in real life, it is a little bit different, because when you have a popular Netflix series and it's promoted on the Netflix platform, people will check it out. There's gonna be a lot of people that end up liking it, and it converts them into fans of the series. And again, I think a lot of people weren't a fan of the Devil May Cry anime because of how it was portrayed comparatively to the games and how there was a bit of a disconnect. Well, newcomers to the anime, and I'm not saying you're right or wrong for having that opinion, but newcomers to the anime that don't have an attachment towards the game, they're not gonna have that point to call back from. So if the anime is their first real exposure to Devil May Cry as an IP, well then they're more likely to get invested into it, even if you personally think whatever aspects of the anime were butchered or weren't butchered. You get the idea, and it seems like that has been a incredible success for the game, going up in units sold, because look at some of these other games. Resident Evil 4, the remake, only 700,000 additional units sold since March 31st, and again, that's a more recent game. Resident Evil Village, 900,000 additional units, and remember, RE Village, I believe this would be covering the quarter that it saw its steepest discount ever, where it went down to, I want to say it was $9.99 for the Game Awards, and you were riding off that buzz. DMC5 still outsold that, and RE Village is a newer game as well. Street Fighter 6, 600,000 additional units. Where is Monster Hunter Wilds at? Monster Hunter Wilds just 400,000 additional units in that quarter. So just something to look at as far as how well DMC5 did, and I think a lot of that can be attributed to the success of the Netflix series. Even if you personally didn't like it, again, I think as far as growing DMC as an IP, incredibly effective with that many copies pushed for it. Speaking of sales numbers, Control sales have topped 5 million copies, with Control 2 and Max Payne 1 and 2 development continuing to move forward. Control, again, topped 5 million copies sold, and then Control 2 development is on track as it's meeting its next milestone. The focus is now on gameplay, environments, and missions. Work continues on developing the game into a strong commercial offering. Then you've got the Max Payne 1 and 2 remake project continues its progress and remains in full production. In the second quarter, the team built on steady momentum from earlier in the year. Collaboration with Rockstar Games remains close and productive, ensuring alignment as the project advances towards its next major phase. So good to see Remedy making a lot of progress on their projects as well. Control is my favorite Remedy game of all time, and some people will find that to be absolutely blasphemy, especially with Alan Wake 2 existing, but hopefully they do a great job with Control 2, and Max Payne 1 and 2 getting a remake. Like, it's just good to see Max Payne back in the forefront. That's one of those franchises with Rockstar's heavy investment into GTA and them putting out a game every millennium. You know, that's one of the IPs that's just been tossed to the wayside. Max Payne 3 was a great game. I would love to see a remaster of that, as well as that's stuck on PS3 purgatory. But for now, Max Payne 1 and 2 getting a full-on ground-up remake combining those two games, and then Control 2 development is going along smoothly as well. Hopefully we'll get Control 2 within the next 2 years, I would say. I think 2026 for a reveal, like a gameplay reveal, and then 27 for a release. That makes a lot of sense, but we'll see how that turns out. But that is going to do it for me. Again, if you want Digimon Story Time Stranger cheaper on PC and Steam, link in the description box to GMG. I think the game is going to do pretty well, but we'll see how big it is. Capcom titles, Devil May Cry 5 selling very well last quarter, and I think a lot of that can be attributed to the Netflix series, and Control sales have topped 5 million as development on Control 2, and Remedy's remake of Max Payne 1 and 2 continues to progress. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.